Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever time you may be watching this. Tonight it is us recording, me and Rochelle here. I am Zane, a rising Virgo, Sun Pisces, and a Capricorn moon, here to give more of a practical, also a male perspective view of the current astrology transits happening. And Rochelle, what perspective are you bringing here tonight?
I am bringing perspective, of course, of the woman, the mother, the matriarch, and yet also sometimes the little inner child, because I'm a rising Pisces. I am a Capricorn sun with a conjunction of Mars. That just means I love to be a bulldozer in the community. And I am a Libra moon, and I'm here to help merge the coming season of what the brew is bringing. I'm so excited for you to be here. Please post any questions that you might have and let us know where you are landing in from. I want to honor the land. We are on the unceded ancestral territory of the Silk Nation people, known as the Okanagan. And it's important for me that we bring in those practices and honoring the land. I'm excited to hand it back over to you, Zane.
Thank you for handing back over. Tonight, we are talking about Virgo season. We are going to focus on the sun. What does the sun mean? It means life, light, and vitality. And when the sun moves into a sign, it's like highlights that energy that that sign brings in. Gives us a new camera lens, new filter that we see through, and what can come up in our life as well. What are some of these key aspects that Virgo brings in, Rochelle, for you personally?
Oh, yes. Because so as the sun moves through the different zodiacs, the sun will move in to Virgo on the 22nd of August, and there is this part that helps us to understand what is getting lit up in our chart. For me, what's getting lit up in my chart is the house of relationships and being able to look at contracts, connections, and who am I in relationships.
And for me, it's showing up in the first house, the house of self. And so that can be the physical body and really looking at how I'm going to start this new year because when the sun moves into your first house, it's like the astrological new year for you within that timing. But for the collective, Virgo brings in the focus of health, routines, service, refinement, and integrity, bringing in that sense of how do I show up? How am I going to find those patterns and routines and continue going forward with them? Do they need to be refreshed, revamped from last year, or are the same ones going to work for this year? And so that great time to look at that, cleaning up the space a little bit, figuring out those routines. But then there's also the shadow side of Virgo as well, where we can get over criticism, control, anxiety, or just getting to that point of trying to be too perfect, that real sense of perfectionist coming out, where we get into that state of, I can't do anything, it's not right, not good enough, where you need to push past that. Yes, take the time to process, find it where it feels good, but it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Doesn't need that 101% perfect.
Hmm. I
99 is
often,
good enough.
yeah, and I
Shows that you're
often
still human.
Exactly. I often think about, yeah, self-sabotaging energy and also analysis paralysis, meaning like you're analyzing things so much that you put yourself into a rut. Yeah. I often also think about Virgo as being truth seeking, finding what actually is our truth, That's also the only feminine sign in the zodiac as well. So it's like, how are you nurturing yourself? How are you taking care of your health for the collective? I'll give it back to you, Zane. I was just too eager to share that part.
No, it's great for you to jump in and then jump in, go away with it because sometimes I'm trailing off and then it's like a part of you jump in, fill in the blanks, so then I don't start stuttering off and trying to find ways to fill the space.
Hmm.
But when we work with the transiting energies, we can look at our personal chart, just like how me and Rochelle were bringing up our first and seventh house of when the sun moves into that sign, it also lights up that house that sign is in. Giving it by looking at our chart, we can get that insight of knowing what area of life the sun is bringing energy to and highlighting a bit. And so this season of moving into Virgo, we're going to go over a quick overview of the houses, the meanings behind the houses. So bring out your chart if you have it, reach out if you don't have it. We can help pull it. I'm sure we also have some YouTube videos we're bringing up. And so go ahead and look at it, see if you can find Virgo as we go over these houses and what they mean. So, first house is about the self and how you show up. That's me. First house, Virgo. The second house is money and resources. The third is about communication, short travel and education. Fourth is home and family. Fifth is creativity and children. Sixth is where Virgo's at home. It's the health and daily routines. Seventh is relationships and contracts. This also can be the house of marriage. The eighth house is transformation and shared resources. It's also the house of dreams. The ninth is travel and higher education, spiritual education. This can also be like the college education. 10th is career and goals. 11th is community and friends. And 12th is karma, endings. It's also the other side of the health access and the subconscious. What do you think, Rochelle? Is there any ones that I missed? Any info that you would want to like sprinkle on top for the houses?
No, not at all. I think you've done really great. I can see that someone else wants to come into our live group. Just make sure that their camera's turned off as we're doing this recording. So, part of this information about where the sun is lighting up for you in your chart really has a lot to do with utilizing that solar power. So, the whole time of Virgo season, Zane will be focusing on his physical goals of his own body. He'll be focusing also on the embodiment of what his vision is for this new year for him. And for myself, there's going to be more information that I'll be sort of really focusing on relationships. And so, depending on where this shows up for you in your chart, there is just this way to work with the solar energy and to be able to utilize it during that month. Well, our Virgo season will be from the 22nd, I believe, to the 21st of September. So, August 21st, 22nd to September 21st. And collectively speaking, and if you don't know where your chart is, just start to focus on the collective part about the rituals, the health for you. The eclipse season will be happening for us. We'll get into a little bit of that probably on the podcast, not necessarily here tonight. So watch for that. But allowing ourselves collectively to focus on what is the truth about health for ourselves as individuals? And how do we want to take care of ourselves so that we're setting ourselves up for routines? This is generically usually the time of year when children are going back to school. So if you start to think about routines and rituals, being able to aid yourself in that way, so then you can start to embody this purpose of who you are, practicing humility, and having that sense of excellence without the need of perfectionism. And so part of this is really, allowing to be what is is. So I love that so much. I love the fact also, when we think about Virgo and the essence, it's also our ability to become the healer, the embodiment of being able to visualize and have some meditation, being able to relax ourselves within ourselves here. Oh, we'll just turn off the camera here. You came in and then came back out. That's okay. Part of part of us being here with you right now is giving you tidbits to digest about Virgo season. And I think with that, I think we'll go into the new moon. Often that is the time to plant seeds and connections. And I'll leave Zane to go over those details.
So the new moon in Virgo here is also happening the same day that the sun is moving into Virgo, which is August 22nd. And so, as Rochelle was saying, this new moon is a great time to plant seeds. And that point of looking for a reset, how can we set that intention to find that new routine or become better with our health or service, our work, and our daily rituals or our daily habits. And with this new moon, it's that extra invitation to get focused and intentional with our thoughts and our progress with our daily routines that Virgo brings and really highlights. It also can be that truth seeker in that sense of telling the truth and having the truth within that setting the intentions. So some of the ideas that you can do with this new moon to help anchor in the energy and the rituals spot to it is you can smudge your space, clean it, your altar, you have one, or detox your body as this moon, it wants that purification to return pure again and have that purity kind of come back to life.
I love that so much because, again, part of this new moon, with it happening right at the very beginning, it's at 0 degrees of Virgo. So it's at the very newness of what Virgo stands for. Some astrologers are starting to say that like this is the one of the new moons of the year to really understand how to grasp that energy. And if you don't have any practices yet, that's okay. And if you have practices, that's okay. Listen to your inward voice of how you want to be taking care of yourself. Those that are here with us live, I'm going to pop in a couple of sort of just affirmations. Choose and use what you want, what suits you. There is such a neat way for us to start looking at intention setting with this new moon. You can start talking about I create healthy structures that nourish my nervous system. And another one that we have here is I am devoted to sacred service that reflects my soul. And a third one we have as an example too with this new moon energy in Virgo is I honor my body as a temple of my purpose. The cool thing about this new moon too is it happens on a 3 energy day, so it's about expansion. 3 is an energy number of expansion, communication, and also the mind. So if we were to think about setting any intentions and being able to just even use spoken word, these intentions will be amplified. Since Virgo is mutable earth energy, anything to do with the earth, getting your feet on the ground, maybe laying down on the ground, whatever sort of calls you, tending our plants, tending our harvest as well would be also part of some rituals to be able to connect with this Virgo energy. Since it Virgo rules the digestive system, this is a perfect time for us again, as Zane was mentioning, of, some light detoxing. Maybe it's having some, more of an elixir teas, those kinds of infusions, and potentially looking at some intermittent fasting or doing your own research and speaking to your health professionals. If you're on anything, again, we're here just to make suggestions, but encourage you to do your own research. And would you agree, Zane, that that has a lot to do with Virgo energy of do your own research?
Yeah, do your own research and that part of find it within yourself and not feel like you have to do it yourself, but figure out that you can do it yourself. I would say is very important.
Self-responsibility and self-reliance. Absolutely. We had a lot of community time at the start of our call. We're going to check back in with our community members here in just a moment, but I think we'll jump into the full moon in Pisces, which happens to be that total lunar eclipse. You want to share some details there? And I'm going to plug my laptop in. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, with this full moon in Pisces being a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, is that sense of surrendering, release, and finding that emotional closure. But then there's also that awakening that can happen with the lunar eclipse as well. As the the lunar eclipse, it's a powerful full moon. But the thing is that it's really a definite ending and release, not a release of a normal full moon that we would have. It would be a more of a, okay, I'm completely done with this. Not a, I'm going to take a few months break kind of release, or maybe a year break. This is now becoming a, I'm done and I'm not returning kind of release. And through this, emotions can run high. The hidden or repressed feelings can come up and may come to surface because this new moon is really here to transform and shine that new light that reflects off of the new moon or full moon here, where it's really that part of bringing in that clarity through emotional intensity and through the intense emotions
Yeah.
and really reveal what's hidden in the darkness that's hiding within our life, within us. As yeah, this lunar eclipse is that sense of what is no longer serving me to the really deep down depths, and how can I release it and let go of it for good.
And eclipses are potent for that. They're being able to bring in and shed what we need to see. And having it happen in this health access, it's going to be really important to, again, trust the truths of what works for you and for your health. And if there are bad habits or intoxication kind of things, putting things into our body to be able to help us cope, like self-medicating, this would be a time to really watch patterns and to be able to really understand our physical body like no other. Then the reason why I say this is because with the astrology, we have one sort of ingredient that's happening, and that's how Pisces and Virgo are shining with each other in a sense. And then we have one more part where we add in the numerology. It's happening on a 7 energy day. And so this is about, again, truth seeking. It's about how am I going to stand in my leadership? How am I going to be able to reflect upon the things that have learned about myself and my physical body? Because 7 is the energy of was one of the energy numbers for the physical plane, meaning our physical body. So again, having health practices, whenever you're starting to watch this, health is important regardless of what's happening in the brew, as we call it. But now more than ever, it's like things are going to be heightened. I've already started to see some things in some of the headlines about, different health things that are sort of popping up. This isn't to create fear. This is more about being able to create awareness and saying that you are an empowered being and you are capable of doing whatever it is that you choose to put your mind to. Again, if you're struggling and you feel like you need help and that we're a good fit for you, reach out. Somewhere in the show notes, there'll be a link there. You can connect with us. If you're not seeing it because we're not working on perfectionism, that's a whole part of this access as well. Just go to the energeticbrew.ca and you will be able to find information there about how to connect with us and work with us. With this nodal shift that's happening and this eclipse that's happening on September the 7th. Again, that's a 7 energy day. And really allow yourself permission to surrender to what is unseen, meaning the subconscious, meaning there's might be nuances that have not ever revealed themselves. Pisces energy is about merging with others. It's about the subconscious. It's about the things that are hidden and karmatic. So if this is, a part of your chart where Pisces is happening, this is what is going to be eclipsed out. And what will be getting eclipsed in will be happening later in the month. And I want to make just a special note about this because we are talking about the eclipses. We will have a partial solar eclipse on right at the tail end of Virgo. And that'll be on September the 21st. Again, this is happening on a 3 energy day. Again, it's about expansion. It's about giving ourselves permission to be fully who we are here to be and to be able to speak on that truth. I'm so, so excited. I think we'll check in with our group that's here with us, and we'll be right back. Fantastic. So fun for us to be able to interact with those that come live. That's one of the benefits that when you come up live, you get to have all of these behind the scene conversations. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Pisces Virgo access that we're having. We find the truth, we find out what's hidden, and then we bring the hidden truths forward. So if you want to be able to join us live, look for the link down below. You can join us with our next classes that are coming up. This is an exciting time, hey Zane, being able to bring in the body tool practice for Virgo season. You want to share what's happening for the one that we chose?
So the one that we chose here is the spleen meridian, as the spleen is responsible for digestion a little bit and then helps with that part of nourishment. And Virgo likes that sense of nourishment. It likes our health and really wants to be highlighted during Virgo season. So the spleen meridian brings in that physical embodiment for us here. And it's also a earth element, same like Virgo. So we got that earth element coming together, that stability, that groundingness. And with the spleen meridian, it brings in that sense of integration of the information, helps us digest the information and the celestial energies, the cosmetic energies that are happening within this brew within Virgo season. So, with that, what else about the spleen meridian here, Rochelle, are we bringing up to help stir this brew instead of letting it stir us?
I like how you put that in. And that's exactly what can happen when the transits are shifting and changing, when we don't have the honoring of our body. I'm going to get you to bring up that personal power card for the spleen meridian. And as he's bringing that up, perfect. That's great. We're going to talk about when it comes to being able to honor this physical body of ours. When we forget about the physical body and we're in the etheric, we're in the energetics of things, we can get really lost. And this is when we have potential dis-ease, pain, discomfort. And so part of us choosing the spleen, it helps us to break things down into smaller bite-sized pieces. Earlier in the call, we talked about how Zane, that was Zane's new year. So all of the rising Virgos out there, this is a great way to start breaking down the vision, breaking down what are the next steps that I need to take? How can I create smaller bite-sized pieces? So part of the spleen meridian, tracing it when we're in a state of overwhelm, when we are unable to digest of what's happening around us, or also our food, tracing this meridian is a great way to start to access our ability to digest things and to bring things down. So just like on the card, it shows it starts on the big toe, comes up through the midline on the inside of the legs, comes down through that center core, meaning the pelvic region, and then it starts to come up through the body, through the midline, and then it starts to expand out and over to the armpits, and then it slides down to the bottom of the rib cage. So the invitation during Virgo season, anytime you have overwhelm or you're needing just clarity to really dial in your mental capacity, your physical body's ability to maybe get through that next set of your workout, or to get the children off to school for those that are sending their children to school. There is so much that can happen through tracing this line on our body, both sides of the body, nice and slow. There is going to be a need to, when you're tracing this, really starting to feel into your body and what that feels like inside of your body. So with that, we're going to make sure that this is up here, so you're welcome to screenshot it if you need to, save it into your phone, into your photos, as a reminder how to get through Virgo season with more ease. And the question here is, what can you let go of to increase your personal power? So remember, we were talking about that really big full moon and lunar eclipse that was happening in, I think it was September the 7th. This would be a great body practice to be able to prepare yourself to to be able to let go. So one of the parts of tracing the meridians, it's about letting that question assimilate, take it time to let it integrate as you're tracing the line on your body. So part of just also what this card says is you can set an intention of your own, you can create an intention of your own, and being able to just feel the difference as you trace it each time. Sometimes there can be an energetic shift or feeling like there's stuck energy. So, again, the invitation is to listen to your own body in this sacred play using this body tool called meridian tracing. I feel really complete on that, Zane. Is there anything you want to add to that before we wrap up this this Virgo season episode?
Hmm, I don't know. Yeah, that part of take your time while tracing this meridian, and while tracing in it, if there's a spot that feels a little bit highlighted while you're tracing, take a moment and pause there and just let the energy process that energy that you might be feeling within that section and before you continue on, as that
Mm.
can help with that transition in that shift within the body.
Yeah, I love it. We call them energetic slivers, meaning like there can be a feeling of stuck energy, there can be a feeling of potential discomfort, or maybe it's just like, oh, that feels really, really good. One point that I did miss is that you can hover within 3 inches over that line. You can also touch and use as much pressure as it feels comfortable for you. Again, the invitation is to place sacredly within yourself. So I think we can bring that back down and start to sort of close up with our call here, and we can return back to our group that's here with us live and spend a few moments before we make sure this gets up onto YouTube for everyone. I love these questions here. I really, really love these questions here. So I'm going to post these questions into the chat. And as we're sort of closing off, some of the journaling that might come forward during this practice as well is, what am I mentally or emotionally over processing? How can I better nourish my body and mind daily? What rituals bring me back into balance and integrity? These are questions for you to answer. These are questions that are blended with Virgo and the spleen, earth energies together. And if you have any questions, please never hesitate to either email us, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. That's the Energetic Brew for both Facebook and Instagram. And it's the energetic brew at gmail.com is our email. Reminding you also that every week we are posting new meridians for the transits. The one that we shared with you today is an overview for all of Virgo season and specific for the collective. If you're wanting practices that are more synced in and aligned with what your chart is doing, reach out. We have a beautiful membership for $44 a month. We can start to help you working through with 2 readings and, of course, having access to our learning library. Thank you for watching here and have a beautiful Virgo season. May it lead you into health and wellness and the feeling of whole beingness based on your terms. Over to you, Zane.
Thank you, and been a wonderful time here with you, Rochelle, here in the world of Zoom as we're recording this, and our wonderful live audience, where we got into some interesting conversations that we keep private. It's why we put these on, but then we also want to show up for those that may not have the time or space to join us the time that we're putting this on. So that's what this tad bit pieces of the Virgo season are for. For those that are interested in coming to join us for Libra season, the link will be down in the description to join us. And with that, I will say have a wonderful Virgo season, and we will see you when Libra season comes around. Yeah?
Next class is September the 11th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Until
Thank you.
next time.
See you next time.